gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Hot Take Tommy here. What does Steve say always? Sons of Anarchy podcast coming at you live. Whatever. It doesn't matter. He's not here.
That's end of the blue line.
That's end of the blue line. It's true. It's all true. Anyway, it's me. It's Willie. It's for your favorite 4-star podcast. Rate, subscribe, review. Let's go. I always used to shit on him for getting that wrong at the beginning, and look at me now. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks.
It's really not. And I should have written it down, but what are you going to do? So how the hell are you, Willie? It's really good to have you on, by the way.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to fill in for Steve-O. But yeah, life is good over here. Just, enjoying the weather out here in San Diego and yeah, watching the Sox lose some games, and it's been great.
Yes, exactly. And what up, Spags? Good to have you as always. It's been really beautiful in Chicago, too. I know it's not San Diego, but damn, felt like it's been close. I mean, like 75 and sunny every day and just like a little breeze. I don't know, man. It's been perfect. The only problem with it is that the Sox are playing in the summer, and it's been a fucking disaster. Actually, I was annoyed this week because of the way that the schedule was set up. Like, only 2 games right after the All-Star break. I felt like I haven't been watching any baseball, basically. I
know, and then they come back and you want to watch, but then you can't.
yeah,
no,
exactly.
It's annoying. And then they still can't start everybody every day because
for what reason?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Andrew Vaughn is like actually dead in a ditch, and they're just trying to like make excuses about how they like have to find him or something. I don't know. Like, poor guy can't find the fucking field. But anyway, there's a lot of shit going on. Wait, really quick before I do anything else, more bullshit here. San Diego, you said that you're getting ready for a very busy end of summer, fall. What's going on? You got work? You got moving?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
A lot of stuff coming up. It's just like sort of random things. Like I'm going up to Portland to go house sit for my sister and my brother-in-law.
Stumptown.
What's that? Yep, Stumptown. That's correct. Yep. And then heading to Iowa for my buddy's bachelor party. And then actually, fun thing is I'm going, well, that's fun, but I'm going to DC to go work some more Nationals games this year. I got my credential back for the season. I'm just going to go do 2 series for a week, but yeah, going out there for a week. That should be fun. I'll see Cincinnati and Oakland come to town, but
hell yeah. Literally all 3 of those teams, none of them are going to have any players on them by the time they get to
Joey Votto, maybe.
Joey Votto, yeah, I don't think he's going to move. That's a good point. Also, like, there's no way. I don't want to dwell on it too long. We're going to touch on it later, too. There's no fucking way that Juan Soto gets traded this year. There's no way. I
think there's a way, but I don't know why they would. I feel like
exactly.
I mean, we'll get to it later probably, but like the Jack Chisholm thing, it's like the same thing. It's like, why would you get rid of him right now? I feel like it's not prime time to get rid of him yet.
Not the way.
Or
not
ever,
the move.
Yeah.
Not the fucking move. Anyway, okay. To last night's game, we've got it was a shit show. It was not fun. Not fun at all. Lance Lynn getting shelled. A lot of people were saying like his stuff was fine, but I don't know. You're giving up a lot of dingers.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I don't like. I get the whole like his process is probably better now, but because his strikeouts are up, whatever. You're also playing the A's, so if you're giving up like hard contacts like the way that you were, I don't know if your process is right.
Yeah. And like maybe the stuff crazy better, but it's not really playing better. I don't know. Yeah, he's a little shaky, but he's always kind of flirted with that line because he really does throw like 3 pitches, right? He's got sinker, fastball, cutter. So it's sort of like, I don't know, you're always playing with fire when you're throwing everything within like a 5-mile-per-hour range of each other.
Yes, and if it's not fucking dancing and moving and everything, like, yeah, I appreciate the optimism in the comment section here, but also that's not where we are right now. Like, sorry, I am not optimistic at all. But yeah, let's go White Sox. It's Lance Lynn getting shelled. It's Tim Anderson getting booted. James, Jesus Christ, Josh Harrison being the only guy who can get a fucking dinger at home. I don't know, man. Like, it just doesn't feel right.
Or at Coors Field.
Jeez Louise. That was like so depressing. They had like on the radio broadcast. Yes, I listen to the radio. I fucking love the radio broadcast.
I know, it's honestly great, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Yeah. It's actually my favorite way to like consume the baseball product. I'd rather
Just to listen. Do you try to match it up with the TV, or do you just straight listen?
I just straight listen. Like that's like 50% of the games I'm catching up on. I just listen to it live, and that's it. Like anyway, besides the point, on the radio broadcast, they put up at the start of the Colorado series. They were like, "Oh yeah, so there's a poll out for the White Sox fans. Do you guys think that the Sox are going to hit 3 or less home runs, 4 to 6, or 6 or more home runs?" And it was like everybody was saying like 4 to 6 and stuff, and
6 or more,
yeah, not happening, not a fucking thing. So depressing. But
right? No, did they have one?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they had one.
No. It was just the worst. And if they did have one, they
could have won the second game anyway. That's the part of this that's really like getting to me is like they have so many games either winnable late or just like at any point in that game could have done something to turn it back in their favor, and they just don't do it. They're just losing games that they can win every week, like twice or 3 times a week.
Yeah, like even this fucking game last night, I felt like they absolutely could have mounted a comeback at any point if they just didn't have. If they had just a little bit of patience at the plate, like a little bit, bro, like a 5-pitch 4th inning, was it like against?
Yeah, I think
who the fuck, Caprillion?
Yeah,
that guy, like that's so stupid. Like
it's
why?
Professional at bat is just like getting annoying at this point.
Yeah,
you can kind of get around it if you're hitting homers and like occasionally taking walks, but they're not doing that. They're just it's just failure. They're
not there long enough to take a fucking walk. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, and then you're goddamn, like, that's one thing that I feel like, I don't know if this is, like, factor, total speculation, but I feel like it drains the starters' arms. Like, when you're not able to get them a fucking sit down for more than a minute and a half.
Right. They're sitting down, for maybe 5 minutes if you include the warm-up of the inning before, and then they're back. It's like 5 or 10 minutes and you're back. That can't be good.
There's no rest involved for
it's like still been solid. Like the starters have still been okay. That's not really the
issue. They're not the issue, but still, it's like give the guys a fucking break here. Stay up there long enough to. Anyway, so I think the big news coming out of yesterday, besides being under 500 again, fun fact is that Nick Marley took it upon himself to give Tim Anderson and Tony the boot. I think I'm kind of in a crazy headspace about this. I'm increasingly think I'm crazy because of the way everybody else is reacting to it. So I want to hear your thoughts on what you saw coming out of it and what you think maybe should have happened there.
I, for the most part, think Tim was a little bit out of line. Like, obviously that pitch was borderline. Like, if you really look at it with K-zone, like maybe a strike. Maybe robot umps give that a strike. I don't know. Yeah. That's one of those like real borderline ones. But I feel like Tim kind of overreacted a little bit. I know that when he was walking away, Marley was trying to he was still talking to him, and then TA came back, and that's when he got tossed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't love that part of it from the umpires being professional perspective.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Tim overreacted. And also it's, we have 40% of the season left now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him suspended for 3 to 5 games of that. Like we can't really afford that. We just don't have the depth to afford that. And it's, set an example for everybody coming up behind you too. Like the game is a little bit out of reach. It feels weird. I don't know. I just didn't like it in that moment, especially. And then to do what he did and just kind of get up in his face. And it's not going to be a good suspension because there was contact. There was his helmet hit the umpire. So it's now there's a whole thing about it.
Oh, yeah. No.
I was a big fan. I love Timmy and I love his, his passion and his sort of whatever, changing the game, whatever you want to call it. But not the time for me.
You didn't think that was changing the game there?
No.
Changed the game, but negatively because then Leary came.
Leary, yeah.
Yes, that's great. Leary changes the game too, negatively. But I'll grant you all of that. I really that all makes sense. But also, fuck Nick Marley, bro. What is his tiny ass ego?
No, he didn't have to do that.
He really didn't. And the part that I'm specifically talking, he had to toss him once. Well, no, he had to he probably has to suspend him is what I'm thinking is after he got tossed, Tim went way overboard. And I think like his reaction in the moment, yes, was an overreaction, but
like usually you don't walk back to the umpire and complain about a ball or a strike.
Right. That's too much from Tim's side. I get it. But also his team's getting shellacked at outside the break. He didn't get an all-star break, right? Like he's probably fucking sick and fucking tired. And here you go, like he's overreacting to a ball or a strike, whatever. Nick, like it's your job as an umpire to fucking de-escalate. And as Tim, like he mouths off, mind you, Tim mouths off at him. He turns around, Tim does, walks away, takes a couple of steps away, and then Nick Marley's like jawing at him. And then when after that, Tim turns around and says something back, and that's when he gets tossed. I mean, it's like the fucking who was that damn ump that was like massaging
oh my god,
Madison Bumgarner's hand.
His name was, but yeah, the Mad Bum massaging his hand and then tossing him.
It's that shit all over again. It's like it's so like I was so heated when I saw the replay because it was like this umpire has like way too small of an ego or way too big of an ego, whatever the hell you want to call it, like where it's getting in the way of him doing his job, which is de-escalating and just calling balls and fucking strikes.
Right. Being in the background and making sure that the game's regulated. Like that.
Yeah. That's all you're supposed to fucking do. And like, yes, Tim, again, like I get it. Tim should not have mouthed off at him. But look, there's a history of Tim getting suspended, getting fucking like the bad end of the stick when it comes to umpiring. Like, hey, look, I'm of the mind that race plays a role here. You may disagree with me, but Tim gets the short end of the stick when it comes to suspensions and fucking like umpire calls pretty often
in Detroit, especially.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The umpire, he didn't even touch the umpire. He was like in a fray and then ended up. Into him. Like,
yeah, and so like all of that going around, you're gonna expect Tim to react the way he reacted. He's fucking mad at umps in general as like a constant.
Right.
And
it's
then
just like a baseline. Right.
Yeah. And then you're going to have him booted because you're the one as the umpire egging him on. It's just not right. Like it put me in a real bad mind. And again, like the part that I can put blame on Tim is the start of it, the overreaction, and then the way he acted after he got tossed.
Right. But that was the part that I didn't love.
Yeah, and yes, they do have a bad case of main character syndrome. They really, really do. Thank you, Christina. I don't know what to do with it though, because as soon as he was overreacting, Tim was. There should have been a coach in between. Like there should have been a coach in between him and the umpire.
Tony just saunters out there.
Oh my god,
he's gonna run out there.
Oh my god,
last year.
Yeah, right. He sprints.
Walks right up.
Oh my god, it ticked me off. It really ticked me off the way that went down. And you know, like there's been a bunch of different people have said this at this point, but why isn't Miguel Cairo like hopping the fence? Like you know that Tony can't do that. He can't do it.
Coach for it's not
exactly
run out there when the manager is too feeble.
Yeah, or fucking Super Joe. Super Joe apparently has this great relationship with Tim, and he's the one who always announces when he's an all-star and whatever. Where the hell is Super Joe? Why can't he get his ass down there? Right? Like, he's only 90 feet away, hypothetically.
I would love to see a non-manager get into an argument with an umpire like that and get tossed. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It reminds me of that brawl in the A's Mariners brawl where like a bunch of fucking nobody managers got like
the interpreter got
got tossed and like suspended. Right. Yeah. That's the kind of shit we need. We didn't need Billy Russo out there like fucking between Nick Marley and Tim Anderson, just like giving it to him. That's alternate universe. That's what should have happened. But anyway, clearly I'm heated about it. I'm on the side of Tim. I think that Nick Marley was way out of line for what he did, but fuck. Yeah. What are you going to do?
That's fair.
Yeah. So we've got, more depression in the in the comment section, and I agree. Katz is the only like person on the management staff that belongs here. Everybody else can go, as far as I'm concerned.
He's the only one doing something right.
Yeah. look at the fucking numbers. Like, and think about it this way. You know, you go into the season with a bullpen who's supposed to be fucking elite, right? You had Crochet, Bummer, Hendricks, Kelly, Graveman. Like, it's fucking set. Mind you, Kelly, like at the start, was like gonna be out for a while, whatever.
And not pitch back-to-back days because apparently that.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That contract language.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
It was it was like he wasn't supposed to pitch back-to-back days through July
through June, but now he's good. Now he's good to throw back.
Super weird. Super weird that that's written into the contract that he can't. I mean, I guess I get it for protecting his health, but yeah. So, but my point being, like, Katz is working with like half of what he was supposed to have as far as like bullpen and starters, right? And you know, with fucking Lynn being gone for as long as he's had his goddamn like pitching staff working well. You got fucking Davis Martin out there. Did I even say his name right? Like,
yeah, you did.
Okay, thank you. But like, and Jimmy Lambert, for God's sakes, like, these guys are not supposed to be taking big innings, and here they are.
Lambert's been great though.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. But and then
Lambert had 98 miles per hour in that. That's kind of nice.
Unexpected too. Like, I did not know he had gas. I did not know.
And if he's going to be happy to take a reliever role, like, I don't know, why not mold him?
Yeah, just take him. Like, keep him there.
Yeah.
What up, Carrie? You're an asshole. So anyway, we're here to just kind of talk shit about the Sox, pretty much, right? But I want to give Willie, I want to give you your props where they're due here. It's, you know, the beginning of the season we had you on, and you had this absolutely wild take that you thought that Jake Burger was going to be a huge part of the postseason Sox. First of all, we might not make it to the postseason.
I know, like, postseason Sox might not be a thing.
But I gotta give you credit, because Mans was really helping us out in the early months here, or mid months. I don't know what was that. June he had a big month, right?
Yeah.
Hey, credit where credit's due, man. Your wild take was better than whatever. I don't even know what the hell Steve and I said, but you came up with that and kind of seemed to be factual.
Something about we're gonna get Craig Kimbrell, the old Craig Kimbrell, but that was before they traded him. So,
oops.
Yeah. No, but my only thought with Burger was like, okay, the guy can hit clearly, and he can hit major league pitching clearly, which is nice. Yoan is like actually stays pretty healthy. He's just banged up a lot, but he does stay pretty healthy. But I was like, you never know with Yoan if he's going to be there by the end of the year.
Don't say that in front of Steve.
And again, like, are we going to make a trade deadline move? I don't know. So my thought was like, worst case scenario, they shift the infield around and then Burger finds his way in there. Plus, we need bats. Like, clearly we need bats. So why would he not be a factor?
Yeah. I'm team Jake Burger to second base. No, yes, exactly. Still is. No, Josh has been like high key. Josh has been pretty good. Like, if we're making a move,
and getting better too. Like, he started rough, and now he's been like his normal self or better.
Probably because he started ignoring Frank Menachino, who's telling everybody to hit Oppo, and bro was like, "I'm gonna pull this fucker over the fence, and there's nothing you could do about it." Like,
everything good that he's done has been like he's just ripped the ball to the left side. That's what he does. Yeah,
absolutely. And
play defense. He's played some like amazing defensive plays.
Yes, yeah, like really short up that side of the infield, which has been great to see. But anyway, it's easy to pick on Steve because he's not here, so we're gonna do it. Steve, I got a bone to pick. Look, Steve came out and was super optimistic, trying to give me some false fucking hope out the break. It was like before the All-Star break even started, he was like, we're at 500. This is going to be great. This is exactly where we needed to be, right in striking distance. It's going to be a huge deal coming out of the break. Sox they're absolutely on fire. It's going to be like the postseason that we were all dreaming of. They've got a tough, easy schedule coming down the stretch. Well, look, fucking false hopes are more dangerous than fears. I would rather be fearful, right? Than credit J.R.R. Tolkien, by the way. But I'm more comfortable saying that having my fears about this team than having these false hopes that they're gonna do something good. Like I'm not about it. Like
Fair.
Sox are below 500 again. Sox are below 500 since the break, since Steve said all that shit. Robert is still out. He's got a fucking cold. Raylo's got a back problem.
Yeah.
There's no fucking dingers. Steve Stone has even stopped carrying water for this club, and he's saying that the team has fundamental issues, which has been true all along. Liam Hendriks said that there's a complacency issue. This was in an interview at the All-Star game. Tony's arguing with the media about whether or not there's an arm problem with fucking Joe Kelly, even though the White Sox organization said that there's an arm problem with Joe Kelly. Giolito went on a podcast, the Chris Rose rotation, and he said that he shouldn't have bulked up before the season. He didn't say that exactly, but essentially said that he made a mistake bulking up for the season after his ab issue in the beginning of the season. A's are coming off a sweep of the Astros, and they just kicked our ass last night. I'm of the mind where it's like, I don't care what this team does at this point. If they win games, it's all gravy. If they make it to the postseason, that's fantastic. But the only thing I'm hoping for is that Tony gets unceremoniously kicked out of this fucking organization at the end of the year, and we clean house and just go from there. With the same players, mind you. I'm good with the players staying. We just need a change of organizational zhuzh. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think like you're saying, the Hendricks comment and Steve Stone changing his tone is like sort of a big indicator of that. Because like Hendricks is pretty honest. Like he's always been honest with the media. And so when he's saying that there's some complacency in the clubhouse, like there's some complacency in the clubhouse. So that's not good. Like that's a terrible way to live. Because they're like, if you're a baseball player, you have to grind every day. You have to be up every day. Otherwise, that other team's going to get you every day. That's just the way it works. And then with Steve Stone too, it's like I feel like his whole enjoy the ride shtick. I feel like that was all like, okay, yes, this team is not playing very well, but it can't be this bad for that long. Like it just cannot be this bad for that long. And now it like is this bad for that long. I think he's starting to see the light, and he's just kind of like, uh-oh, this is ugly.
Yeah.
And how do you change fundamentals? How do you change a whole team attitude like that in a short enough amount of time?
You can't.
That could have happened a month and a half ago, but now I don't know.
Yeah, this is like, and thank you for letting me fucking rant and rave. Like I did not expect myself to get as worked up as I did.
Good. You hit all the good points. I didn't even talk about not hitting dingers because that really is the biggest on-field issue.
Yeah. I mean, errors and dingers, or the lack of dingers. No dingers. Right.
It's fundamentals and dingers. It's base running fundamentals, it's defensive fundamentals, and it's dingers.
Yeah. It's like those two things are just not happening.
They're like not a good baseball team. They have a lot of talent. Guys like hit the ball hard and throw the ball hard, but they're not like playing baseball. It's bizarre.
Yes. And, I was thinking about this long and hard, and I came to the conclusion that it's like the White Sox, what they did is they got as much talent as possible, and then they just didn't coach said talent. They were just like,
like hoping it would work.
Yeah. Right. Like everybody's here now, so just go play baseball. And it's like, that's probably why they have a complacency issues, because they're just expected to be good, even though they're not told or taught or explained or shown or there's no, like, as much as I'm not a fan of Dallas Keuchel, but there's not a winning culture here, right?
No, there's not. And honestly, this is sort of like conspiracy theory, just kind of like clicked in my head too. But like, you gave out all of these early contracts, right? Like, I guess TA got paid early, Eloy got paid early, Luis, Moncada, all these guys got paid early. At some point, complacency has to settle in a little bit, right? If you're not trying to drive these guys, like they're paid, they're
locked in,
right? They're locked in for a little bit at least, and they're playing well enough that they're gonna be major leaguers for their careers. So like, they've kind of like crossed that bar. So now it's like, what's the only thing that's motivating now is like actually winning. And if you don't have the leadership there to actually push people to go win something, that's just not going to happen. You got a lot of people that are just happy doing what they're doing.
Right. No. And as much as the A's model pisses me off, like no team should carry a payroll the way that they carry a payroll.
No.
Absolutely not. And they should actually give a shit about the town that they live in or play out of. Like they haven't built a new fucking stadium. They don't want to like stay there, and they're making it clear through the way that they're interacting with the local, like Oakland, whatever. Okay, anyway, total sidebar. But fuck the A's. Those players are playing for something. They're playing for proving the fact that they're major leaguers.
Right. They're playing for their futures. Yeah.
Exactly. They want to maintain their jobs, as you know, they're scraping
for arbitration next year, right? Like we skipped that with so many guys.
Yes. None of these guys are getting arbitration money increases or whatever. And like again, I'm all for player, you know, activism and like getting what they're worth as early as they can. But what up, Alex? But it's like, come on. It's been reported. It's been players in the clubhouse are saying there's complacency issues. We got Willie P's tinfoil hat theory. It all makes sense, man. It all makes too much sense. God, I love that conspiracy theory from you. That was good. Like, anyway, I think.
Yeah, who knows if that's what's happening, but it's got to be there somewhere.
There's issues.
It'd be a lot different.
There's issues.
We're making, $700,000 as opposed to $500,000.
Yeah. If this team was that bad, is as bad as it is right now, and we were paying players $700,000, whatever. Like,
I don't know what the minimum is, but
yeah. I think it's $750, but maybe it went up because of the lock, whatever. But like, if that was the thing, like, then fucking what's 5 more years of rebuild among friends? You know, like, let's just fucking call it what it is. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. Disappointing, but we can let it roll off. We've got the trade deadline. There's a lot of conversations about the Sox being able to possibly make moves here. But really quick. We on this podcast really love Manny Minoso. We have a whole segment that we do often enough called Minoso Minute, where we talk about stuff happening outside the lines of baseball, and in honor of who Manny Minoso was to Latino American ball players. Basically, he is now a Hall of fucking Famer. And by the way, if you are gonna make it to this game tonight, I'm gonna be there with some buddies from college, and I'm gonna try to see that Hall of Fame plaque, because they're bringing the actual Hall of Fame plaque into the stadium tonight. So and there's a whole like pre-game celebration thing. If you're gonna get there 30 minutes early, and if you're not gonna get there, buy some tickets and fucking show up. I mean, it's Manny Minoso. Like, that's the only happy thing that's happened this year. So you might as well see that. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say about it. But let's go, Minnie. Check out that baseball reference page, because it's got his Hall of Famer tag now, officially.
Oh, nice. Alex will be there tonight, it sounds like, Tommy.
Hell yes, Alex. I will stop by. I will say hi. No, it's good things. So
that is all good things.
That's a little positivity, right, for the airwaves out here. But anyway, do you want to talk about some trade deadline shit?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So, basically, I wanted to take a look around. Well, first of all, Sox fans are so excited about getting a potential second baseman from the wider trade market. Willie, can you please, I saw you set somebody straight earlier this week. Can you please let us know why Jazz Chisholm is not a good idea for this year?
Yeah, and it's not even that it's not a good idea. I just don't see it happening. Like, I'd be happy if they got him, but for this year, it's really not going to make much of a difference, because like he strained his back in June, and then they sent him on a rehab assignment, and like during his whole rehab, they did another I don't know what they did, CT scan or whatever.
Assessment.
He found out that he has a stress fracture in his back now. So at this point, like, best case scenario is 6 weeks, which would get him here in like mid-September.
Yeah.
And then he'd have to kind of like
Yeah.
he'd kind of have to like ramp back up, and he wouldn't be himself going into October, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you lose that. But I think the bigger issue though is that he's under team control next year, and then ARB for the next 3 years. So like, there's still 4 more years of team control there. Like,
Yeah.
there's no leverage for the Marlins to sell him now if he's hurt, especially. Like, if he was playing well and someone was going to overpay to like win this year plus, whatever the next 3-4 years, that's one thing. But at this point, I feel like the Marlins, like, I know they have their own issues with him, like personality issues came up. I don't really know what those were all about.
Something about culture. I don't know.
Yeah. So if they want to get rid of him for that reason, like, maybe you can try to jump on him and buy him for cheaper than you could. But I don't think he's going to get dealt at the deadline. It just makes no sense for any team to make an urgent move like that, especially the White Sox right now. So maybe in the off season, then you can explore it a little bit more. But no, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't think the Marlins are going to try to get rid of him at this point, let alone like, you're not even going to get him for this season. So
yeah, and like, definitely not going to get him for this season. And like, the wisest thing to do, probably for player health standpoint, is shut him down for the season. Like, if that's a stress fracture, that's really going to be an issue. Like, potentially long term, back issues are fucking terrible. So probably wisest to just shut him down. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
We're going to shut him down, I'm sure.
Yeah, and like, that's so he's not coming to the Sox. Sorry to rain on everybody's parade. As much as I would love it, but the fucking Alex. But really quick, like, the whole issue with the Marlins too is that they don't have any fucking bats. Like, they're not going to trade.
They're all pitching right now.
Yeah, it's all young pitching. That's like their base right now. They're not going to trade away
Brian Anderson last year or the year before.
And it's like, it's not wise for them to get rid of a piece that's going to be there for 4 years or whatever.
No,
in their everyday lineup. They could move him to short maybe, like, and make him like a real centerpiece. But anyway, I just wanted you setting people straight, because
I mean, like, I think the big thing is that he's hurt. Like, the initial diagnosis was not that bad, so I think people are like, oh, he'll be fine. But then they upgraded it to a stress fracture, so he's out.
Yeah. And this is very sentient from Alex, by the way, about the old white relievers are what we're going to get. Old white relievers are what the Marlins are going to give. And, if we end up trading with the Marlins at all,
I'm kind of with Spags down here too. We are getting nobody. Like, we might get somebody, but in a way, we're probably not going to get anybody. Like, we either get nobody or we'll get like the bottom of the barrel. Classic.
Yes.
But
classic White Sox. Yes.
They just don't have enough to make an actual like impact deadline move that would actually change the calculus for this year. So I just don't see it. They lost that on Luis Castillo now. That was like maybe one potential like fringe good option we could get, but
that would have been sick. But also, again, unrealistic with what we could provide them, right? Like, the Reds looked at us and be like, next, like, no, thank you.
That's how it is with most teams too, with anybody like worth anything.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But anyway, we digress. We actually wanted to take a look around the league as a whole because of how depressing the Sox are here. Can we trade Menachino? That's hilarious, Christina. I don't think anybody wants his ass. But
the Marlins will take him back for Jazz.
I mean, look, that's hilarious. But all that being said, let's take a look around the league and kind of see what other options are out there for other players. Basically, I want to play a game where we're the GMs now. What would Willie do? What would Tommy do in a given GM clubhouse, whatever? So it's interesting, if nothing else, to look across town and see. It's really weird how they kind of like send off Wilson Contreras as if like they gave him a whole ass scenario saying that like, oh, like, have a good rest of your life. He's still on the fucking team. It's like weird.
Nothing's happened.
He hasn't been traded yet.
3 days away. Yeah,
super weird. So let's say that you're Jed Hoyer. You're the GM of the Cubs. Willie, what do you do in this situation? Do you trade him? Do you extend him? What do you do with Wilson Contreras?
If it wasn't like a 30-year-old catcher, I would keep him. But he is a 30-year-old catcher. And
Savage.
I'm just saying, by the time that they're really like ready to get back into it again, he's going to be like at the end of his thing. Like, it might be nice, like Jose Abreu wise, to have a guy to like sort of carry you through a rebuild, but you don't do that. It's almost better to get a clean slate. And he'll be 34, 35 by the time they're ready to really win again. And I just don't see the value in keeping him other than having like a steady, like, I don't know, steady line through whatever the good times and then you rebuild or whatever. But I would get rid of him personally. I know it sucks for the fans. They don't love it, but
you are a savage GM. I did not expect you to go this way. With Wilson Contreras, if I was in the GM shoes, I'm fucking extending that guy. Like, okay. I mean, throw him at first base, throw him at DH. The NL has a DH now. Sure. You know, like you can extend him, and maybe it's a tough contract. Who cares? You're the fucking
you have nobody else on contract.
There's nobody else there. Pay him out his ass and keep him around. And then, you know, like if he's there by the next time the Cubs are good, he's there by the next time the Cubs are good. You know, right. Ian Happ, on the other hand, have a good life, you know?
Yeah, you're right. With the NLDH, that's true. That does sort of change it a little bit, but
I'm just saying.
You could justify it either way, I think. It also depends on what you get back, right? Like, you're not just going to get rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him. Like, if there's someone that you're targeting for the future, then okay. But
yeah. And I think the other thing to think about here is that, you know, good hitting catchers are a fucking commodity. They don't just, you can't just develop that all the time. Like, you might want Wilson Contreras just because he can catch and he can hit. Like, that is not common.
You don't have to worry about. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. Sometimes you'll have Zach Collins, right? Who's supposedly one of the best hitting catchers in the fucking world. Wrong. He sucks. Yeah. Or there's Reese McGuire, who's he can catch, but he can't fucking hit. You know, it's not easy. Or you have Sebi Zavala, who's streaky as all get up and can't really throw people out. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I do like Sebi. Anyway, okay, so there's the Cubs situation. Let's go to my second favorite team. Good thing Steve's not here to say they're actually my favorite team, the Giants. If you're the Giants, this was a more interesting question, I think, 5 days ago. But if you're the Giants, would you buy or sell at this trade deadline?
I'd be selling for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, they fucking tanked the last few days. I really thought that, they'd kind of play 500 and then by the time we talk about it, they'll be, still in the conversation. At this point, it's you should sell. You should give us Jock Peterson, actually.
I know Alex was talking about it on 108 the other day, but they had definitely had some sort of weird thing going on because they will find last year 107 wins, like he was saying, and then you got Uriman this year, you got Luis Gonzalez popping off. What has happened?
Doesn't make any sense.
It's not enough this year. I just don't think they have it this year. Plus, you're dealing with the Dodgers and the Padres too.
Right. I think that's the main consideration.
Plus, when you get to the postseason, you got Brewers, Cardinals. I don't know. It's just not. I don't think the Giants have it. So
no,
I would say
not this year.
I mean, I don't really know their team too well, so I don't know if they have enough to sell, or if they just kind of stand pat. But I don't know.
They got a Jock Peterson.
They were leaders for the Juan Soto sleeper team. The Giants Juan Soto, but now they've lost 10 of their last 12 or something wild.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad recently. No, I think they should give us Jock Peterson is what they should do. I think
that's give him to us. I'm down with that.
Just hand it over. They're not going to use him.
He can always play a little defense and he can hit.
Yes. And he's been in the last 3 World Series or something crazy like that. I don't know.
There is some weird juju around him of getting to the World Series. Yeah, it's with Juan Uribe or Edgar Renteria.
Yes, exactly. That's hilarious. Okay, so this is another California team. Shohei Ohtani. A lot of people are talking about Shohei Ohtani. If you're the GM, Willie, what do you do?
I'm keeping Ohtani for sure. So it really depends on if they're going we are gutting the organization. We're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you get rid of him, but how do you get rid of a guy like that?
Oh,
he helps you on both sides of the ball. He's a marketing machine. People come to the stadium to see him. Really, they do. They come to see Trout, obviously, and go watch the Angels, but really they just want to go see Ohtani. And every time he comes up, the crowd cheers louder. He's just, I don't know. I don't see how you get rid of a guy like that. That would just be insane to me. I mean, that's how I feel about Juan Soto too, but we'll get there.
Right. Yeah. It's there's no real justification for getting rid of him when he's single-handedly makes you a relevant organization
Right.
in and of
By
himself.
himself, yeah.
I think it's interesting to think about with the Trout injury now, though, because you really can't move Trout. You can't.
No.
So if you want to move on from this core, the only real piece that you can't move fucking Rendon. Nobody wants his old ass.
Someone, maybe it was Alex was talking about Trout on the Orioles. Maybe I was like, that'd be interesting. Think
Alex,
about that.
Alex, you're fucking high. Like if that was you.
Think about it.
I'm thinking about it, and there's room on the payroll. However, what is it? You gonna move Cedric Mullins for Mike Trout? Are you crazy? Cedric Mullins is the center fielder out there. Okay.
And it might not have been Alex. I'm just throwing him under the bus, but it was somebody. Somebody said it.
Yeah. Also, if you have Mike Trout, yes, you do move Cedric Mullins. You do. Yes. Okay. I forgot to mention, if you're the Boston Red Sox, really quick, to go back to the other side of the fucking nation, you buying or selling?
Oh,
interesting, right? Interesting.
Yeah, I think if I'm Boston, I'd probably buy.
Oh shit!
That's not what you were thinking, huh?
No, I would sell the fuck out of the team right now.
Okay, explain.
Well, it's the same issue as the Sox, right? They don't play defense, and they are out here losing games to Toronto like 28-7. If you're gonna go to the playoffs, you're gonna play Toronto. Like this is the whole thing though, is like it's not like they have a core that's gonna fall apart next year, right? They've got Bogarts, they've got Verdugo, they've got Devers, right? So you could keep all those guys. You don't need JD Martinez next year. He's not going to help you next year. And what I'm saying is
you're going to bring him back is my guess. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to win it this year, right? If you're the Red Sox. So fuck it. Just like trade shit off. And there's a little bit of that philosophy in the way that I think about the White Sox too, that, you're probably not going to win it this year. So why go all the fuck in when you've got players contracts that are lined up through a couple more years? Like, not that I'm trying to say kick the can, but why you don't have to go in all full go this year.
Single time. Yeah. That's true. But I just feel like Boston's usually better at developing their talent and bringing them up and trading for talent. So I feel like they're a little more savvy, but they also have been spending a lot less money this year.
Yep.
So I don't know. So if you're not going to be spending money, then that doesn't really supplement what you have on hand. So Boston's in a weird spot. Like I think the Boston of old would be buyers. I think the Boston of new, maybe you're right, they're sellers. Yeah.
That's definitely old Boston would be buying like just stupid money. Like
the Dombrowski days.
Yes, Dombrowski, exactly. I was like, who's the guy's fucking name? Yeah. But anyway, enough of all of those other teams. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Juan Soto.
I'm not trading Juan Soto for anything. No way.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody's like, I guess I get the reasoning where it's like he denied the $440 million extension, so they don't want to like deal with that, like renegotiating. But come on, man, it's Juan Soto. Like
this is another example for me where like I don't know if you're gonna get what you want at the trade deadline. Like everything's happening too fast. You need to talk about these things for a longer period of time. It's too big of a thing to happen.
Yeah.
So if they really want to do it in the off season when you have time to sit with people or go to the GM's meetings and sit with people and actually talk this through. I feel like it would be a mistake for them to sell him at the deadline, just like on impulse, because he didn't accept it. Like maybe make one more offer when the season's over. Like really go for it. He still doesn't, then he's open season. I feel like they just kind of jumped the gun.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to sell him this offseason or this trade deadline, but maybe.
Right. It also could be a bargaining, tool in terms of like, okay, well, if you don't want to sign this contract, we'll trade you. And it's like, I don't know if that's a good bargaining tool, but it could be. He's in the same boat as fucking Ohtani, where it's like he sells tickets just by himself. Like I want to go see the Nationals at some point. You're going to be working for the goddamn Nationals. I want you to take a photo with Juan Soto and send it to us because we need that shit on our timeline.
Man, yeah. Yes. I agree, Tina. It's like the Nats not giving him the money is insane, but also them getting rid of Turner last year was insane, or 2 years ago. It's like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
What
You
the
had
fuck are you
Juan
doing?
Soto and Trey Turner to start with, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. There's no reason.
And just
There's
go from
no
there.
reason.
And then they get rid of Turner. Now it makes the whole Soto thing like, up in the air. I think
Right.
they're blowing it. But.
Yeah. There's a lot of like I am losing faith in the whole like tear everything down and rebuild from scratch model.
Right.
I don't know why.
Do it from the beginning. Yeah.
There's no real reason for it. I think there's a personal kind of team that is close to me that's kind of ruining my faith in that, though. White Sox.
I mean,
fuck the White Sox.
there's also like there's so many good examples, and not so many. There are a few good examples of it happening. Houston did it. Kansas City did it. Cubs did it. So like it can.
Kansas City like did it though in like heavy quotes. The way that they
did it.
They fucking like the way that team existed though, like never again will a team that like steals and fucking like plays good defense.
Not gonna win with small ball in the bullpen.
Like, never again. Like that was so weird that existed, and I hate them for it. I'm gonna hate them forever.
I'm sorry I had to bring that up. But, yeah.
Fuck those Royals, man. We'll play them. Where I want to whoop them every time we play them. That's what Tim Anderson gave this team. Is that quote? Okay, so back to the White Sox. Let's say we're Rick Hahn. This is the real money time where like enough of that talk about the rest of the league.
Yeah.
If you're Rick Hahn, Willie, you've got an issue with obviously we're under 500 again. Do you look at trading anybody at this point?
No. I think that they should either just kind of like work around the edges and see what they can do. Like sort of like getting a Tyler Mahle or like a David Peralta or like someone good, not great, not going to really like cost you anything as far as the prospects you really want to keep, but also gives you a better chance this season. Like that's sort of where they're stuck right now. Is you're like that's your best option because you're not going to get a Juan Soto or like Luis Castillo's done. So like you can't make any sort of like impactful move on the field that's really going to move the needle. But I also don't think they should sell. Like they're not that far off. They're really not that far off. They just need to tighten things up a little bit, which they can't seem to do, which is what makes it also annoying. So if I were Hahn, I would do that. I would work around the edges. I know that's like really stupid and annoying, but I just don't know if the Sox have it this year. Like, what could they do? What could they realistically do to make this team that much better?
Get Benintendi. Oh wait, never
Too
mind.
late.
Yeah, I don't know. I really do think Jock Peterson could be like a magic key, but we need a fielder. We need an outfielder. Like we really, really do. Let's deal with right field that has been the whole like thorn in our side since 2012 or something.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, like since Jermaine Guy left.
Yes, it's so depressing, and that's where the 108 sits. Like, come on, the best fans in the fucking ballpark sit right there. Give them a good player to look at. Shit, too soon. I know it's too soon. Yes, I'm sorry. Man, comment section is killing me today. It's great.
It's active today. I like it.
Yeah. But okay, so you're not going to trade anybody. Maybe I'm a little fucking crazy, but I would listen. I would listen to conversations about Giolito and Lynn. And whoa, like I know I fucking love Lucas Giolito, but you're not going to extend the guy. It's not going to happen.
Why not?
The poor guy, like, why not? It's because Mans wants to see the free agent market, and he's already declined an extension from the team. So, and you've got Jerry who doesn't pay for pitching. There you go. I don't know what else to say, but I would just think about it. I wouldn't do it. Like, let's say Giolito gets you like a fucking haul, and then you could actually set yourself up for a little bit like continuation after 2024.
That's assuming that they like supplement that with paying for pitching, which you said they won't do. So that's sort of where I don't love that.
Here's the thing, Alex, you're absolutely fucking right here. If I'm the GM and you're looking around, Lynn and Giolito are at their lowest values. So
Yeah.
this is not this is not the way to take care of business.
And yeah, Spags, I'm with you. If I were Gio, I would have taken that too. But he didn't know how he was going to be pitching this year. So.
Yeah, he thought he was gonna fucking like deal this year. And he added on a lot of weight that he was like, oh, this is gonna make me more stable. This is gonna make me last longer, and then injures his abdomen like out the gate.
Just makes him tighter, right? It's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
and yeah.
So he's not been it, and I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, I would listen about a few things. Like, if I was Han at this point, who are some players that aren't going to be here? Maybe somebody wants Josh Harrison. I don't know.
I don't
He's
know.
been
I just don't
playing
think they're in a spot to sell. Like, you're not really going to get anything that's worth anything. Like, it's just going to be, you're just punting the year at that point. I don't want to punt the year.
There's I mean, look, we're 3 games out, but it's just fucking depressing right now. Anyway, and that's if I'm GM. If I'm GM, I'm doing that. Yeah. And it's not saying that I don't care about this core anymore. Far from it. I care about this core a lot, to the point that I trust them next year. I don't like, this just isn't the year. They've got the wrong manager.
Something's broken this year. It's so weird.
It's super weird. You can't fire all the players. You can fire some staff. Like,
and that's, I think, the issue, because there's obvious talent there. It's just like they're playing so far below even their talent level. Like, not saying this is a World Series team if they're all clicking, but like, they are so far below what they should be doing, even if it's just the norm. It's like they're far below the norm.
Yes.
And it's consistent, which is annoying, which is making me think it might be the norm. But
exactly, like they're playing like the back of their baseball card is not showing up this year, and it's across the board. It's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Which is just like, it's so confusing. It's like, you'd think that like a couple players here, a couple players there are a little. Besides Jose Abreu, I apologize. Hail the captain. Like, man is out of his mind. He hasn't. Not really hitting his dingers, actually. So, but that's it. Like, he's doing more than enough at first base.
Yes.
All praise. But yeah, I would say, like, again, like, I'm fucking crazy, but saying that next year might be more important than this year, I wouldn't sell the house to get this year's championship, is what I'm saying.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I am with you on that.
Okay, so this is an interesting one. You're Rick Hahn, Rhys or Sebi. They're both. This is important. They're both out of minor league options. So if you send one of them down, other teams have the chance to pick them up instead.
I'm keeping Sebi. I think that's an easy choice for me, at least.
You gave up Zach Collins to get Reese McGuire, dude.
I know, and I'm fine with that. I thought Reese was going to be fine, and he is fine. But like, I just think that Sebi has a little more there. Like, and he's shown it. He's improved.
He hit 3 home runs one time.
He did, and we lost the game still. And one of those was a grand slam.
Yes, fucking wild. That game doesn't make any sense still. Like, still to this day, it doesn't make any damn sense.
No, that game was like sad, honestly, because it so kind of summed up last year. It was like a lot of good moments and like a lot of like excitement, and then just nothing in the end. You get nothing.
Yeah. Just didn't. That's very poetic of you to draw that analogy. That's good. I like that. No, I'm with you though. If I'm Han, I'm sorry, Reese. You've been actually better than I thought you were. But have a good life, man. Because somebody else in the league is going to pick up one of these 2 backup catchers.
Oh, sure, and like one of them's going to get picked up. That's fine. But like, you can find those guys.
Yeah, and one of the ways to find them is waiting for another team to have a catcher backlog and release them without minor league options and then pick them up. Oh, that's what's happening to us. Yeah, so you can find this happening around the league. Give it a year or something, but definitely keep Sebi on the major league.
I would say keep Sebi for sure. I'm just tired of the 3 catcher thing, and like I don't want that to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is these guys don't get consistent at bats anymore.
Right.
Like, that you're hurting Sebi in the long run.
And now, like, Reese is just chilling on the bench for the most part. Like, but like, it's mostly Sebi or Yaz, and then you just have Reese, so like every once in a while pinch hitting or like coming in for a game. I don't know. That just doesn't seem.
Yeah, which Reese pinch hitting is not the move. Not the move.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to bring up this little John Morosi quote. So he says the White Sox aren't discussing the possibility of trading Lucas Giolito or Lance Lynn. They're 3 games back in the AL Central. They're still 3 games back, aren't they? Or 3.5, maybe
3.5, I think now.
Yeah. And are encouraged by their 14-10 record in July. Team officials believe that they can win the division. That's the bit that I wanted to discuss. If you're Rick Hahn, do you really think you can win this division still?
Yes, I do. Just mostly, it's like what everybody's saying. No, it's just that, like Minnesota sucks. Cleveland, like, it's just not deep enough.
Yeah,
and we are
hypothetically
better than them on paper, and I still feel like that's going to flesh itself out through the rest of the year. I do.
Man,
I know that's like blind optimism, but it's also like, I don't know. I just think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be stupid, and everyone's going to be like weirdly happy, but also pissed at the same time. And they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. But yeah, I think they'll win the division. I do.
Dang. Yeah. I appreciate your optimism, but God bless you for it. I'm just not. Man, I can't. It's actually kind of sad. I'm realizing now at the end of this podcast that I'm basically saying 2022
is done.
It's been real. Like but that's where I'm at. Like realistically, like I'm gonna get hyped for next year. I really am. But this year, man, like what are we gonna do all this just to get bounced in the first round? I don't know, man. I'll take it. I'm ready to.
As long as they're not going to be trading Colson Montgomery,
right?
I'll take it.
Yeah,
or Vaughn, or like anyone,
Obviously. Yeah, you know what? There is something to going to the playoffs 3 years in a row. In baseball, that's not easy. So
if you are on the hype train for next year, what's wrong with a little more postseason experience, a little more bad taste in your mouth, just like that little extra juice, right? There's some carryover from year to year for sure, and getting to the playoffs is always good. It's always
good. Willie, you're right, and it hurts me because now I'm getting that false fucking hope again. I'm getting that.
I'm not saying we're going to win the World Series, but like I want them to succeed, and I think that they will do okay.
It's not that we're going to win the World Series. I just want them to lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's what I want.
I would take that. I mean, at this point, they're third place. I would take losing in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look, you make a good point. At this point, they are literally third in the fucking AL Central. They're third place in the AL Central, the worst division in baseball. So if they can make the playoffs, God bless them, Well, shit. Okay, so if I want one last scenario for you. If you're Rick Hahn, right? The Sox, if they acquire a player via trade at this point. And again, that's a big if because, we're realizing we don't really have a lot out there for us to get, first of all. And we don't really have a lot, to give up to get players. But let's say they get a position player and they have to drop a position player off their 26-man. You're Rick Hahn. Who are you dropping off the 26-man? There's some good candidates out there. But who do you think?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to my not wanting 3 catchers on the roster. I know that Yaz gets hurt, so that's gonna be an issue potentially. But I would just say see Reese. Like I just really think Reese is okay. If he was hitting and hitting for power as a lucky bat, okay, that changes the equation. But he's not doing that at all. So what does he bring to the table? Nothing, essentially. He's not hitting, and he's average to below average as a defensive catcher. Like we can find that with Yaz and Sebi with a lot more offense. So series, because I want to keep Engel. Sheets. I guess I was gonna say Spag. Sheets is sort of like my second option to say goodbye to, but I don't mind his weird random coming off the bench with a power threat late in the game. I want him over Reese. That's really what it comes down to. I don't know.
Dude, you make really good points. And I think those are the 2 best candidates, Reese or fucking Sheets. And, there is also people who would be like, I don't know, Sebi's not really it, but those people are kind of crazy. He's been playing out of his mind recently. And
I'm not saying Sebi's the answer, but he's not bad. He's a good backup catcher.
Yep. Yeah. Sebi's the truth, according to a minor leaguer that we interviewed 3 years ago. So
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, like not
Sebby's
that
the
long
truth,
ago.
man.
Yeah,
Sebby's
yeah.
the fucking truth. Still to be told, but he is the truth. No, if I'm Rick Hahn, man, I am going to release Leroy Legend. Fuck it, let's go. No, he's
Hey, I
a,
mean, you could. You could.
and pay all that money after you
TLR
pay.
might quit then. Then we get like the best of both worlds.
That's
He's
hilarious.
like, you took my toy away from me. I'm going home.
Oh my god, that would be the golden scenario, the absolute golden scenario. That's amazing.
TFA Leary and TLR just quits on his head.
On site, walks off. Like, how dare you, sir? You're like, okay, 2 problems solved in
Yeah,
one
all
fell
right,
swoop.
boom.
That's amazing. That's my multiverse like golden scenario. Incredible. Well, I guess like the only other option for me, since we're still playing the game and I'm pretending I'm Rick Hahn here, I'm gonna go pick up Billy Hamilton from the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it, man. Fuck it. And then if in that case, I'd probably let Sheets go so that like, you know, we could just
that
put him
outfield spot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'll carry 3 catchers for the rest of my life.
I mean,
the 2 of them being kind of shitty. Yeah, just keep them forever. Oh man, this is a good idea, Spags. This would really work with the White Sox fan base. We'll set up a GoFundMe and we'll pay for Garcia's buyout. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
we should do it.
I'd contribute.
Oh yeah, dude, you'd get $10 from me, and I'm cheap as fuck. Like you'll get those $10 though. I'll help out. Oh man, it would work, man. Although you know, then fucking Jerry would just pocket it.
Jerry would pocket it,
yeah.
Right?
What an asshole. Okay, well, we're running at like an hour here. We were coming into the podcast being like, we don't have that much to talk about. Let's just keep it a short. That's hilarious. It happens, man. We're just having too much fun. So, do you have any final thoughts for us? What's going on?
No final thoughts other than, like I feel like the Sox are still right in this thing. I just wish that they would stop breaking my heart.
Yes,
if they do it like 3 times a week, which is great. Oh, and I was also at that debacle. I was at the debacle game against Cleveland where Naylor hit the game tying slam off of Hendricks. So, like, I've seen some of it in person too. It's pretty bad.
Oh my god, I can't believe you were at that game. That sucks, dude.
But no, beyond that, thanks for having me on. I'm glad I could fill in for Steve-O. I'm glad that I was an option. So yeah, this was fun. I'd do this again for sure.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
R.I.P. indeed.
Exactly. No, you were option 1A, man. I was really happy to chat with you this week, and yes, thank you to you for coming on in place of Steve-O this week. He'll be back soon. Don't worry about it, guys. But for me, to wrap it up, I just want everybody to take kind of like a 500-foot view of the situation, right? Like, don't get bogged down in the day-to-day, because they're gonna have games like yesterday where they're just like, we're all hyped up for the series against the A's, and then they just let us down, like in a big way too, like where it's depressing, and you got the fucking fans doing the wave instead of paying attention to the goddamn game. By the way, stop doing the goddamn wave. Stop doing the goddamn wave. It's really annoying. Besides that, again, I'm trying to be positive here, and I failed miserably, but take a 500-foot view of the team. Don't get wrapped up in the every single game kind of a situation. Don't get your hopes up either, because who knows how this is going to go out. But have fun. Try to have fun. Yes, the wave does suck, Spags. It really, really does. Just try to enjoy yourselves out there. Have a drink. Enjoy the goddamn beautiful weather in Chicago. And then just laugh when the team sucks. And
we're gonna get to do that tonight live and in person too.
I'm very excited about it, actually. I'm like that's what hurts, is like every time I get Sox tickets, I'm so excited, and then it's like,
and then you get there, you're like, oh
yeah,
it's happening again.
The seats. The problem with the seats is that they face the stadium, like they face the game. I'd rather turn the seats and just talk to the people and with.
Have them like swivel so you can
exactly.
and talk to people.
I need swivel chairs. I need office chairs in the stadium. That's what I need. Anyway, well, that's it for me. By the way, I did not prep you for this. Are you good to do the sign off here? Usually, what I do is I say "In Han We Trust," and then Steve makes some shit up off the cuff. So
yeah, I got you.
All right. So, "In Han We Trust."
Get our shit together, we must.
Hell yeah! All right, everybody, have a good week, and we'll talk to you soon.